British Prime Minister David Lemmy and the
Foreign Minister.
Pardon me?
Foreign Minister.
Foreign Minister, correct. Thank you. And the U.S. Secretary of State spent the day with the former president of Ukraine, Zelensky, and the statements made afterwards caused the Wall Street Journal and others to claim that by reading between the lines, the Secretary of State was giving hints that the British Prime Minister and President Biden will announce this weekend when they're together in Washington that they've authorized the use of long-range missiles to strike deep into Russia, which would mean Moscow and St. Petersburg. How do you read this? How reckless would this be?
Well, it's very reckless, and I believe it's opposed by the Pentagon because the U.S. Armed Forces understand very well what the risks are. There's no one as bloodthirsty as a civilian remote from the battle lines. That is Mr. Blinken. That is Mr. Lammy. And so I think they did go to Kyiv to meet with Zelensky, as you said, no longer the constitutional president of Ukraine, but there as president, in the name of a president. They went there to consult with him on the terms of a decision that has been made. I believe the Pentagon lost the argument in Washington. What will happen next, we cannot tell, because we've already heard from Sergei Ryabkov, the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs in Moscow, that there will be a reaction and there will be nothing good. What will the reaction be? Russia has many, many options. And this is, tied into the allegation so far unproven and denied by Iran, that Iran has transferred short-range missiles to Russia, with which Russia can cover areas closer to the battle lines. Russia, of course, has an ample supply of its own missiles, but they tend to be longer range. So this allegation, it seems to me, was put forward as a justification for the escalation by the United States and Britain that you described.
Here's what Secretary Blinken said in a press conference in Kyiv, late in the day in Kyiv, with the British Foreign Minister next to him. Please pay attention to the last line that he uses, which is pretty remarkable for him to say this. Chris, cut number 22.
It's important that the Ukrainian people continue to hear directly from us. We remain fully committed to Ukraine's victory, to not only ensuring that Ukraine can defend itself today, but can stand on its own feet strongly, militarily, economically, democratically, for many, many days ahead, to securing the path the Ukrainian people have chosen toward greater integration in the Euro-Atlantic community, including the European Union and NATO.
NATO? That's he's poking the bear right in its face.
Well, so is the offer of long-range strikes into Russia with U.S. and British support. In fact, when we do things like this, we validate the Russian security concern that led them to demand the return of Ukraine to the neutrality on which it was founded. Western weapons forward-placed in Ukraine, whether they are in the hands of the Ukrainians or NATO troops, who would definitely follow the admission of Ukraine to NATO, as we've seen everywhere else in Eastern Europe, these are a direct and intolerable threat to the Russians. So they will not accept